we are connected with Senior Business Analyst of Mentari Mulia Berjangka, Pak Patrick Cheung. Good morning, Pak. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, looking sharp in the morning, Pak. So, would like to get right into our first question, right? So, trading robots are actually quite common in the world of trading. Can you please unpack it for us? Because there are actually legit platform, I believe, right, that use robo investment, robo advisor, but recently there's a lot of scams as well. Can you first unpack it for us? What is actually trading robots?
Sure. Trading robots, actually, in the financial industry, people also call that automated algo trading. What is this? It's actually a computer program written by programmers, actually, and execute buys and sells transactions on the financial instruments. There are some basic forms of robots I believe most of the investors should be very familiar with. For example, like limit orders. Let's say if I am a stock trader that I like to buy some Apple shares from the US market, right? But now the price of the Apple shares is too high. I only want to buy the Apple shares at a price of 150. So what I do is I set a limit order in my system. It's actually a computer program that I set my instructions. It will execute the buy order for me when the price arrives 150 automatically.
Right.
Another example is actually a stop loss, which also accept the instruction from me and close the positions at a set price to avoid further losses. But of course, there are also some other forms, higher forms of robots. For example, like a computer program that can read from the statistical technical indicators. For example, like moving average, uh, relative strength indicator. Computer program can detect the price actions happening on the indicators. For example, if the RSI is too high, maybe higher than 80, the possibility of the price going down will be high. Then a computer program will place a sell order. Actually, the most sophisticated robot that I have ever seen is a set of computer programs which can analyze 40 different indicators at the same time to
Wow.
determine the right moment for invest.
Right.
Okay, 14. Okay, that's a big number already now. But Patrick, what makes the trading robot app itself that were, actually endorsed by influencers different from, let's just say, the others app or the other robots?
Right. So, in terms of the influencer, I think there are some major characteristics that happened focusing by the influencers. I think firstly is like the focusing on how easy the robot can be used, which is kind of true, in fact. But secondly, most of the influencers may also focusing on how low the risk can be
Yeah.
by using robots. Some of them even marketing as zero risk, which is actually it's impossible because all investment will involve risk. Okay, thirdly, it also involve how sure, how big the investment return can be by using robot. Here, I believe they make very good use of people's greedy mind. People always want to earn more without giving too much efforts, right? So, but the things is that those stories are too good to be true.
So these scammers are actually usually target new traders, but lately we're seeing more and more experienced traders scammed and losing billions of rupiah. So how does that happen? And is there actually a difference between a trading that are actually look at an actual investment with good underlying, or is there actually like what we call bodong, investment bodong, without any underlying investment or assets?
Okay, so actually, that's a very interesting phenomenon. Talking about even the experienced trader get trapped in those scams, right? So basically, the scams are nothing new. No matter which type of scam, it's almost certain that every time it will involve promising high investment returns with low risk or even zero risks, right? Even though those type of tricks happen again and again in the past maybe a few decades already. but still have new victims fall into the similar traps. I think the only thing remain unchanged here is people's greedy mindset. Everyone want to earn more without having too much efforts, right? But as you mentioned, recently the phenomenon is even the experienced traders also fall into the same trap. Why? Well, I think we need to look back what happened in the last 10 years first. Maybe it was the most dramatic changing 10 years in the human history in terms of changing people's lifestyles.
Yeah.
Firstly, think what happened since the first launch of iPhone. Almost everything changed to mobile. Communication, entertainment, shopping, but due to the pandemic, is even more popular right now.
Yeah.
Well, secondly, think of what happened since the first launch of Facebook. Okay? How people socialized with each other changed a lot in the last
Yeah.
10 years using technology, right? Well, finally, let's think what happened since the first launch of Bitcoin.
Yep.
Cryptocurrency and recently the NFTs become one of the biggest miracles, maybe beyond anyone's expectation.
Yeah.
So after all this dramatic change by using technology, maybe miracle can happen, especially using technology, new technologies. This might become a hidden message. More and more people start to believe. In my view, this might be the biggest reason why even experienced traders start to believe robots can give
Right.
them extremely high return with low risk. They
Right.
also start to blindly believing into technologies.
Okay, so we're marking with the low risk, okay, of using the robots. Now, but Patrick, as we know that, we've heard about news regarding investing or there's, some bad news that we've heard a couple of weeks regarding this investment. So, but the euphoria is still there for investing, right? Now, many Indonesian investors, to be specific, now shift their attention to Goto that is set to go public in early April, if I'm not mistaken. Now, also, we have seen positive trends where Adoro Minerals reaches 2,000% gain since its IPO, and so does Buka. Now, my question is, what do people actually need to look at, or what do they need to know when they're actually in that trading field?
Well, if your fear for investing is high blindly, that is a very big sign of risk. Okay, we all actually witnessed what happened before the 1997 Asian crisis and also the 2007 global crisis. That is actually what happened. People blindly believing in investing. So myself, I'm a big fan of value investing theory from Warren Buffett. So my advice is no matter what kind of good news investors received, we still need to go back to the basics. First, by understanding the profile of the company, like what are the company's competitive advantages or the risk of the company, do rational analysis on whether the value of the company really worth for investing first. Although that sounds a little bit complicated and needs spare some efforts, right? On study, on the research, right?
Yes.
But those are still the basic homework every investor should do.
Yep.
There are no shortcuts actually.
Yeah.
So remind investor to be rational in making decisions.
Yeah, certainly.
Rational.
Always do your own research, right? But now, would like to ask about scalping. Will scalping give more profit than swing trading and investing, in your opinion?
Well, scalping is actually a day trade strategy. Well, usually, they trade very frequently, like open and close transaction in a day a lot. The holding period will not be long. Usually, a very short period of time holding period. The profit target for each transaction is relatively small as well. For range trading, is the other way is following the trends by using technical indicators. Usually, the holding period will be longer, days and even months. Right? I cannot say which one is better than the other because they are really different type of styles may
Right.
fit for different type of traders. For example, for a scalping trader, you need to be able to handle stress actually.
Right.
Because there are so many ins and outs in a day of transactions, you need to be able to follow the market heartbeats closely
Yeah.
during the trading hour. Or for the swing traders, on the other hand, you need to be patient
Right.
because you may wait for your fish for days and
Yeah.
months, and you need to have a strong belief in your trend analysis.
Yeah.
It is easier to say than do it because, especially when your position is suffering losses,
Yeah.
will you stick to your analysis or you cut your loss? It's a very tough question, right?
Yes, so it really
obviously.
depends on also your time, right? The amount of time that you have to be dedicated to monitor all the movement as well as your mentality as well.
That is so true. That is so true. Now, Patrick, for a person who is still new in this kind of field, what can you actually give advice to those who are new? What type of stocks maybe should they look out for and maybe invest in?
Okay. Well, I believe it's related to whether the investors like to do day tradings or prefer buy and hold for long term. Okay, it actually also depending on the investment objective for the investors. So, for example, if I am a technical analysis guy, I want to achieve my capital gain in a short period of time on investing my fund to profit from the transactions. Then I need to learn how to do scalping and swing trading and apply my technical indicators, right? Versus if I am an investor, my goal is to achieve capital appreciation in long run, then I will go for value analysis on companies and define the companies with the big competitive advantages over the other companies and buy and hold for a long time. So I can enjoy the dividend income from the operating profit as well as the long-term capital appreciation. A very good example is Apple actually. There are more than 3,000% appreciation in capital in 10 years.
Right. It is amazing indeed when you certainly make a good bet on a company that have a competitive advantage and able to reap the benefit in only like 10 years, right, Pa? Now, our last question,
Right.
Pa. Robo investing or robo for trading is certainly actually can make our life easier when done right. So can you tell us in what circumstances should we start to consider using robots for trading?
Okay, I think robots are for investors who understand how to invest first. So, but do not have enough time to watch the market. Then robot will be an ideal helper for you. Okay, I think the key of using robot or not is do not blindly do something that you don't understand.
Right.
Okay, firstly, before using robot, you need to understand what is the robot doing.
Right.
Believe me, there are no rocket science behind the robots because all the robots are programmed by human.
Right.
They're instructed by us. The robots is nothing. It's not a rocket science. Okay. Secondly, ask for the track records from the robots because all the robots will conduct the back testing, which is using the historical data, and the front testing, which is putting the robot into the real market to run for a period of time. They should have sufficient data to provide to you.
Right.
If they cannot provide any data, that is not a good sign. Okay.
Right.
So only go for those you can have the data, and of course you need to verify whether the data is true or not. Lastly, if someone telling you that I have a robot, I can guarantee your investment return with no risk, with zero risk, go away. Turn your red alert on.
Yes. Obviously, don't trust it.
Exactly.
Do not trust
Always do your due diligence and always use the data, right? Pa?
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was Senior Business Analyst of Mentari, Mulia, Berjangka, Patrick Cheung. Thank you so very much for your time and your insight. We've gained lots of information this morning. Once again, thank you so much, Patrick. Stay healthy and also
thank
stay
you.
safe.
Thank
Bye
you,
now.
Pa. Have yourself a good
Thank you.
Saturday.